It's beginning to feel a lot like Groundhog Day because I feel like I keep telling you another poll, and yet here I am again telling you about another poll that's a record low for Joe Biden. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Trish Regan Show. I am Trish. Great to have you here. Do make sure that you go to trishintel.com, subscribe to my newsletter there. You'll get this podcast delivered direct to you every single day, but also make sure you download it on Apple iTunes, on Spotify. You give this channel a like. It's great to have you. As I said, this is unbelievable to me. I mean, every time I turn around, we're getting new poll numbers showing just how badly Joe Biden is doing. This one's a Quinnipiac poll, and it shows that, the approval rating for this president is the lowest it's been ever. 38% of Americans approve of the job that Joe Biden is doing as president of the United States of America. This is down from 42% 3 weeks ago, down from 50% in mid-February. So there's a theme. There's a trajectory, and he's not going up. I suspect this is going to get much, much worse as time goes on. In other words, all the problems, they're piling up. And this is why I always say policy matters. I get it. Everybody wants to vote personality. But at the end of the day, policy does matter. And when you have a president, if in fact he's in charge, because by the way, you heard what John Kerry said the other day. He didn't even know about a major issue that was going on between Australia, the UK, and France. Such a big issue that France actually pulled its ambassador. He didn't know about that. So even if he's the one really governing, and I know a lot of people are certainly questioning that given the challenges he seems to face, he's getting blamed for all of it. If he's the one doing all this, he's doing a really bad job. If he's not, then he's taking the blame. Whatever the case may be, Americans don't like it. And that's going to be reflected in 22 and in 24, I believe, because you can't have an economy that's dealing with this much inflation. You can't have a border issue such as we do right now. You cannot have the horrific withdrawal from Afghanistan and not expect to pay a price. I also want to point out that on some key issues, Republicans are faring much, much better. Again, this points to problems. If I'm a Democrat right now, I'm really worried about midterms because I can't hitch my wagon to his. No way. No way, Jose. I mean, Joe Biden, you are dragging your entire party down right now. 54% believe the GOP is doing a better job when it comes to homeland security, when it comes to the military. The majority of Americans believe the GOP is doing a better job than Democrats when it comes to ensuring prosperity. So on big issues like safety and the economy, Joe Biden has really failed his party. And not only his party, he has failed America. That's the reality. I want to get to another big story in the news right now, and it's a total invasion of your privacy, my privacy, every single American's privacy, in their quest to try and prevent extremely wealthy individuals from squirreling away any money and hiding that from the IRS. Well, the Democrats think the answer now is to look at everybody's bank accounts. If you have more than $600 in your bank account, the IRS gets to go in and take a look. Okay, so I don't know who doesn't have more than $600 in their bank account at any given time during the year. All right, I mean, I guess you'd have to be just transacting entirely in cash. Maybe if you're here illegally and transacting in cash, maybe then you've got less than 600. I mean, at some point, most people do have more than $600, even if it's just when they get paid on Friday in their bank accounts. So how is this going after the extreme wealthy? I'd like to know. How? I mean, you're going after everyone. That is casting one big giant net. All right? You're fishing at that point if you're going after the poor schmo with $650 to his name. What is really going on here? Now, Janet Yellen, who has just become, in my opinion, a complete political hack. She was not this bad when she was head of the Federal Reserve, but right now she's just there carrying the administration's water and doesn't really seem to have any viewpoint outside of the leftism that's governing her right now. So she's out there saying, oh, this would be just great. And we have too much opaqueness in the banking system. You're telling me that opaqueness in the banking system is so bad that you're going to check everyone with $600. Let me quote here. She said that this is going to help catch wealthy tax dodgers, and in a recent letter to the Ways and Means Committee said, and I quote, opaque income streams that disproportionately accrue at the top could be caught right through this. So those income streams at the top, you're going to go all the way down to $600. Give me a break. I mean, the problem with this, you see, is that they're going to come up with a series of algorithms that enable them to penalize, and I mean them, meaning big government. And this is whoever's in charge, by the way. Like, let's be clear. If the tables were turned, I don't think the Democrats would like the Republicans saying, we're going to go after everyone's bank account, that has $650 in it. It's 601 penny. I mean, this is bonkers. Anyway, the IRS would have access to all of these bank accounts. And the fear is that you could have algorithms that target people that are not, quote unquote, in line with what the administration would like. And so by that, I mean anybody who's a registered Republican might feel very vulnerable. Frankly, everyone should feel vulnerable. They will be able to look at every single thing you're doing, every American, because again, most bank accounts at some point in their existence have more than $600. The GOP states they're not having any part of this. They said that we're not going to honor this, but they can only get so far on this. And let me explain why. Because banking rules, they're governed basically by federal law. It's one of the reasons why, and I had done some reporting on the underground marijuana industry. It's one of the reasons why that industry was so challenged and still faces challenges, and it's because of banking rules, right? You can't have a bank account with the bank that operates in more than one state. If you're with Wells Fargo or JP Morgan Chase or any of these banks that, are all around the country, they're going to have to be governed by the rules that the federal government puts in place. So if the feds say, we want access to every account that has a transaction balance, or just has a balance, I should say, of more than $600, then those banks have to agree with that. They have to allow that access. You can't have states saying, nope, not going to happen here, because then the bank would say, okay, well, sorry, I can't be in business in that state. So this is being set up as a major challenge. I hope, for goodness sakes, that people pay enough attention to this, because this really is a threat to each and every American's privacy. And it's coming at a really difficult time when we're dealing with all kinds of economic challenges and certainly inflationary challenges. I mean, $600 pretty soon, that'll be like $60 at this rate. My gosh, you look at all the inflation data that's been pouring in. You look at gas prices right now, which have just hit enormous highs, levels that we haven't seen in quite some time. And it's clear Americans are being taxed in more ways than one. I mean, Joe Biden may want to tax you more, and he may want to look at everything in your bank account, but you're also getting taxed from the perspective of higher and higher inflation, which is why I always point people to a diversified portfolio. And part of that diversification, in my view, does include precious metals, specifically, in my case anyway, gold. I like gold because I feel like it really helps to hedge some of the inflation that we've got coming our way. One of the statistics I like to cite is that the dollar, in terms of purchasing power today, is worth just 15% of what it was in 1972. So $1 would buy you a heck of a lot more in 1972 than it's going to buy you today. And that's because of all this money printing. And the money printing is going to continue. They've made that abundantly clear. And so you need to think about how you're hedging this. I mean, a lot of good ways to do that. One, I do think you want to be in equities. I do think you want to be in real estate. I do think you want to be in things like gold and precious metals. And so take a look at this. It's important for your sake so that you can someday retire. We all want to do that at some point. But how are you going to retire if all those dollars that you've been saving up just aren't worth as much? Again, this is why you need that gold in your portfolio. Call my friends over at Legacy Precious Metals. They know this inside and out. They can help you figure it out. LegacyPMinvestments.com. That's the website. You can tell them that I sent you. Give them a ring. The number, if you're watching this on video, is here on the screen, 1-866-589-0560. Again, that number is 1-866-589-0560, LegacyPMinvestments.com. They will help you navigate this very treacherous space. Believe me, that's exactly what it is. And, I meet a lot of people that just want to have the actual physical gold. I mean, they just want to have that in their possession, whether it be in a safe deposit box somewhere, or whether it be in their basement. They want to know that they have that insurance. A lot of people look at gold IRAs. A lot of people find other ways to invest in this vehicle, but these guys will help you out. So do give them a call. They've been in business more than 40 years, and tell them that Trish sent you. They'll appreciate hearing that. Anyway, just a reminder, everyone, you want to subscribe to this podcast. I would appreciate it if you do, because this is a crazy time. I mean, you got the IRS looking to breathe down every single one of our necks. I mean, this is, as I said, a real invasion of our space, an invasion of our privacy. And if you're someone like me whose motto is live free or die, the great state of New Hampshire where I was born and raised, you want to make sure that you protect that privacy. The individual is so important, and that's increasingly what we're losing sight of in this environment. They don't care. The left does not care about the individual. They just care about themselves. And this is a weaponization, if you would, in my view, of the IRS that could be quite dangerous for the country. We've seen them do it before. I mean, don't kid yourself. Remember what happened during President Obama's tenure and how people in the Tea Party were quite deliberately targeted. We don't want that happening. So it's one of the reasons why I encourage you to correspond directly with me. If you're watching on YouTube, I want to remind you all that I do read the comments, or if you're watching on Rumble, I read the comments. I love hearing from you guys, and so I read all of those. Reach out to me there, and don't be afraid to say what you think. I think it's really important that everybody speak up for themselves right now. Do go to the website. We've got a great store on there where you can celebrate America, you can celebrate freedom, and you can celebrate that live free or die spirit with all of the merchandise at the Trish Regan store on the TrishIntel.com site.